Well, looking ahead to Friday, it's the second annual Camas Festival.
It is your chance to learn about the purple camas lilies through art. Our Cor Harlan has a sneak preview of the event happening at Linfield University.
All right, we're getting ready for a great festival this coming Friday at Linfield University, and it is all centered around the Camas plant. This will be the Camas Festival this coming Friday here at Linfield, and part of the festival is an art exhibit here featuring a lot of Camas flowers, a lot of Camas bulbs that people in the Grand Ronde community, in particular, was a main part of their community and what they lived on and what they thrived on. Katana is one of the guest artists for this part of the show here. Would you do me a favor, and this is some of your artwork, and I want Carl to kind of look at this artwork, but could you give us a thumbnail of how important Camas and the bulb and the cakes that they made out of them were to the Grand Ronde community?
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Katana. I'm a local indigenous artist, and this is a piece I made depicting of how abundant the camas used to grow here on the Calapunian land. It grew so much that it would start to look like a river flowing, and that's what I depicted here. The camas bulb was a traditional food for the Calapunian people that lived here, and it's important because it was really a part of their survival. The bulb is a really starchy nutrient, and so it was our main source of starches.
And it carried over for the winter. It carried people through the cold part of the winter. It's cool. It's a great part of the show. You've got a couple paintings here and a couple of other items up here on the wall of the exhibit as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll see you Friday. Bill is one of the professors here, and I'm sorry, I've asked you this a couple times. Professor of
Environmental Studies.
Right. We're doing some restoration work at a nearby creek here that has been overgrown by maybe non-native things, and the effort is to allow some sunlight to get in on the camas and kind of give it a rebirth. Would you talk to me about that a little bit?
Yes, it began back in 2015. We formed a partnership with the Greater Yamhill Watershed Council. There's a stream that runs through campus, Cozine Creek, and it was very overrun with English ivy and Himalayan blackberry. And so we began to do some restoration work involving students. Students wrote a grant to get some funding through the Oregon Watershed Enhancement Board, and so we've been over the years controlling the invasive species and planting native ones.
And camas are coming back up,
yeah,
right?
And what we discovered is once we removed the English ivy and the Himalayan blackberries, the camas began to thrive. And that's when we contacted the Grand Ronde community and asked if they'd be interested in helping us to celebrate our backyard ecosystems and the importance of these places to both the people that live here as well as everything else that uses these areas.
That's part of the show too. Part of the festival. They'll have tours down there to Cozine Creek. They can see the camas. Is it coming up yet, or
it's just now starting to bloom? This late spring has really set us back, so we're probably 2 weeks out of where we normally would be with the bloom. But yes, we'll be having tours with tribal representatives that will talk about the cultural significance of the camas. We'll also have students that will be talking about the restoration work that they've been involved in. So it's just a way to celebrate the importance of these backyard ecosystems and how important they are to our region.
Really cool. When we look back on the land here over the course of millennia, the salmon important to some peoples, the camas more connected maybe to the peoples of the Grand Ronde in the same way that salmon is to some other tribes and stuff like that. It's going to be a pretty cool event. As you heard Bill say, it's interactive. You go down and take a tour of the creek, see the camas trying to come up here through the clouds and the rain and the sunshine sometimes here. This coming Friday at Linfield University, the Camas Festival. Check it out if you're going to be out this way and you want to learn something about the indigenous plants and the indigenous people who have been here.
All right, thanks, Cor. Again, the Camas Festival happening Friday from 10 to 2 p.m. at the Linfield Art Gallery at Linfield University in McMinnville.